All right, and then I'm going to share my screen so you can see what I'm talking about, starting from the beginning. All right. Okay, so after those technology glitches that I was trying to live stream this on Facebook and do the Zoom meeting simultaneously, it's not working. So, and this is the first time I've tried to do it. Learn, live and learn, right? Anyway, I want to make sure that I've got this being recorded so that I can share it with the people that had requested the replay. I think everybody should be able to benefit, whether they couldn't make the Facebook Live or whatever. So it is what it is. I'm here, you're here, we're doing this. Okay, so chances are you know me from Facebook or Instagram, or we've been friends a long time, or you're part of my family, but we probably know each other, and that's how you heard about this. And the reason this whole workshop came about actually was because a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I was, sitting down to start doing my 2021 review, and then start thinking about the goals that I wanted to have for 2022. And it kind of hit me like, well, hey, Kim, if you're going to be doing this, why don't you share it with everyone else? And maybe they can reap the benefits as well. So I put together this presentation and tried to get the word out, whatever, about this. And here it is. And it's perfect timing because we got 2 weeks left. 2 weeks left. Yeah. 2 weeks left of 2021, and then jumpstart into 2022. I did put together a handbook that goes with this workshop. So if you did sign up and got the link to it to download it, please use that, especially after the workshop, because there's a lot of information, and I want to make sure that you're set up for success. And if you didn't get the handbook, you can either drop me a comment in the chat here, or send me a message on Facebook, send me a text message, whatever. Hold on, somebody's trying to get into the meeting. Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Let everybody in the meeting. Okay, so anyway, contact me in whatever way you see fit to reach out, and I will make sure that you have that handbook. All right, so a little bit, if you already know me, and you probably do if you're in this workshop, a little bit about me. I'm a coach. I'm a wellness coach. I'm a mindset coach. I believe in keeping things simple. I really focus on the whole mind, body, spirit triad, making sure that we're connected, we're interconnected, and I live for this stuff 24/7. I live to, work on mindset, work on the body. I've got my apothecary. You see my apothecary, the picture there on the slide. It's actually behind me, and I love playing in it. I love working in it. I love working with the mind. I love working with the soul, the spirit, see what sets us on, sets our soul on fire, all of these things. And I love imparting the knowledge that I have about these things to others, to empower them so that they can be their best naturally. And really working on the three key parts that I really love to work on. It's the self-awareness piece, the self-acceptance piece, and the self-love piece, because those are so important. And, I do have certifications. I think certifications are great. Some people, they need to check the box with those things. I think it shows that you've persevered and you've done something, that you're passionate about, and shows that you have the wherewithal to continue pursuing whatever that passion is. I can go on about my background, but if you already know me, chances are you already know my background. And also on Facebook, if you want, there's and also on my website, I did a video about, I think it was back in May, And it's kind of me in a nutshell, like what I'm doing here, what I'm passionate about, who I am, how I think, what I'm trying to do for everybody else. And I think, you know, there's parts of me that I expose my soul. And I think that most people who have watched that video that I did live can relate, and it resonates with them. So I encourage you to check that out, and you'll learn all about me and more. All right, so you came to set some goals. So let's do this. We have, just making sure that everybody, no one else is in the waiting room. Okay. All right, let's do some goal setting here. All right, when we think about goal setting for the next year, a lot of times we think about resolutions, and we know from previous experience that, you know, people start rolling their eyes, they start groaning. This is like, this is painful. Resolutions don't tend to stick, and I think we all know that. So why do we even bother? It's really, resolutions you can think of as kind of like a wish list or something you hope for, but that's almost the extent of where it goes. And by, you know, the end of January, mid-February, whatever you had resolved to accomplish, to do, to change, tends to fall to the wayside. So if we think about them more as goals versus resolutions, this is a much better way to approach it. This is a plan of action. Goal setting is a plan of action, concrete and solid. So think of, there's 3 basic steps to setting a goal. You write it down. Very important to write it down. You can have a great goal in your head, but chances are life catches up to you and life happens, and the goal that you were thinking was so great and you planned out in your head, you can't remember that plan. And when you write it down, there's something special about not just typing it out on a computer. There's something special about using a pen on paper, because you've got that whole mind-body connection going down into something tangible that you can hold on to and refer to. And, you know, you can write it down on sticky notes too and put them around. But, you know, when you have sticky notes, what happens is they become part of your decoration or your decor in your environment, and you don't see them anymore. So the best way to write it down is in something like this. This is my this is where I keep all my goals and all my my thoughts and everything. So it's very organized. It's all laid out for me right there. Write it down. Second step, map out the steps. You can't get somewhere without knowing what steps you're taking to get there. So map out the steps. Doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simple. It can be 3 simple steps. And then take action, because nothing is going to happen if you keep it in like a wish list mode. You have to do something about it. So taking action is key. 3 simple steps. Remember that. Oh, and there's the other thing about me, if you don't know, I like keeping things simple, not overcomplicating things, because you won't remember. Okay, next slide. All right, so how is the best way, what is the best way to start achieving your goals? It's really becoming the person who naturally achieves those goals. So, you know, if you want to be, let's say you want to run a 5K by the end of 2022, and you don't really have much running experience, and you're used to kind of just sitting on the couch or whatever, and you're doing like a couch to a 5K, you're probably going to have to change some of your habits. And with that, you're becoming the person who would naturally go after that goal. So, you know, what kind of qualities or character traits does this person have who's going to accomplish that goal? Do they come home and sit on the couch, or are they more active? Are they, you know, proactive in going outside and taking a walk, or, you know, something like that? How do they approach goals? Are they passive, or are they kind of more of a, let's go do this? Are they seeking out ways that they can achieve this goal? Are they looking for opportunities? How do they stay consistent? You know, consistency is really the key to making a change with almost anything. You have to keep following through over and over and over until it becomes just part of you. And especially when we're talking about achieving goals, being consistent is one of the key, and staying motivated. So I've talked a lot about motivation, and how people stay motivated when they just don't feel it anymore. And I'll get more into the some of the reasons, or some of the ways that we can stay motivated. But we're only human. We can only give our 100%, not even 100% of the time. But I mean, you can't stay on 100% of the time at 100%. It's impossible. But your why is going to help push you through those times where you're kind of faltering and you're not feeling it. All right, so let's start thinking about the vision and how we can define it. And there's about 10 questions here I wanted to go over, to think about and to start considering when we're thinking about how we want our 2022 to look like. All right, so let's get to the first one. All right, so what are the top areas of my life that I would like to excel in? And I personally would only recommend picking 2 or 3, especially if you're new to goal setting, or if you're feeling overwhelmed at all. 2 or 3 goals where you really want to improve. If it's your health, if you have a health issue that you'd like to address, or if you want to lose weight, or if you want to, look for another job, make more money, whatever it is, 2 or 3 things. Keep it simple. And what you're going to find, though, is that when you address just those 2 or 3 things, you start achieving the goals, and that starts spilling into other areas of your life. And you're starting to feel better about it. You're starting to feel more confident about it. And that improves other areas of your life. So you really don't need to, have 5 or 6 big goals that you're looking to, improve in areas. But if you're looking to focus on health, that is going to improve all areas. Trust me. All right, next question to think about. Why is it important to me? Why is this goal important to me? And how would I like these areas to change? So let's go back to that 5K run that you want to do by the end of 2022. Why is it important? So is it that you want to feel proud of yourself? Do you want to prove something to yourself that you could do it, that you could actually, work with your discipline habits and, change some fundamental things in your daily routine, or your life, or the way you approach exercise, or achieving goals, or the way you eat, the way you treat yourself? There's so many things that you could come up with, and this is very personal, what it means to you. Why would that goal be important to you, or whatever goal that you're planning on setting? This is your why. This is what you come back to when your motivation starts to wane a little bit. Okay, another question to consider is, what am I no longer willing to tolerate in 2022? And I think, over the past 1.5 to 2 years, we've tolerated a lot that we didn't think we were going to have to tolerate, or I think we all know life as we knew it ceased. So, but there's certain things that, about ourselves, or about things that we've learned about ourselves over this past couple years, or year and a half. We've learned that we don't want in our lives anymore. Maybe you've realized that you don't have boundaries established, and you're not willing to tolerate that anymore. You want to be able to say no when you mean no. And maybe you want to be able to say yes instead of always saying no. Maybe there's people in your life that are no longer serving a good purpose in your life, and you want to be able to set some boundaries with that. But again, this is all very personal. It's something to think deeply about, because when you're tolerating things that don't work for you, it doesn't help. It doesn't help in any area of your life. You don't feel good. You don't feel confident. It's empowering to stand up for yourself, even if these things are within yourself that you're not wanting to tolerate any longer. Okay, next question to ask yourself is, what energy patterns do I need to release? Maybe, you know, we've been operating in a fear-based environment for a while now. And a lot of us, I can speak for myself, have operated in a fear-based environment for years. You know, maybe you're afraid to ask for more money because you're afraid your boss is going to say no, and you feel that you deserve more money, but you're scared. And, you know, so that would be a pattern, because you're telling yourself you're not going to get the raise, but you want it, but you're stuck. You're stuck. And releasing that energy pattern, maybe pushing through the fear, is something that's going to benefit you from, yes. Because once you push through that and ask, what is the worst thing that your boss can say? No, you're not getting a raise. But at least you asked. At least you didn't stay stuck. At least you're moving forward. You're making an effort. So there's, you know, this could be so many different patterns that we see in ourselves that aren't working for us anymore, and we'd like to release. Another question to think about is, what areas of my life am I allowing fear to run the show? There's fear again. I think a lot of us, in fact, I think most of the time when we feel stuck, it's because fear has somehow gotten in there and has taken root and is not going anywhere. And so we get stuck. We try to push forward, but we're afraid. Maybe it's the self-talk that we're saying to ourselves, no, you can't do it. You know, you've tried to do that before. It's not going to work. You're already setting yourself up for it not working, and allowing fear to step in and just take over. So there could be areas that you're allowing that, maybe in your relationships with your friends or your family or your significant other, or at work, or in your own business. So something to really think about there. Okay, and then another question would be, what is currently the biggest limiting belief I am holding on to? And this, sky's the limit on this, right? But once you start figuring out what it is that you're telling yourself that kind of keeps you stuck and keeps you not achieving what you really would like to achieve, it's going to be a game changer. What if it, you know, if it's telling yourself that you know, you're too old to start a business, or you're too young to start a business, or I don't have the skill set for that job and I'd really love to have that job. They'll never hire me. I don't know what I'm doing like everybody else. You know, whatever that limiting belief is, let's get to it. All right. And then, you know, how can I rephrase that or change that belief? So what if, what did I say? I'm too young to start a business. Okay. How can I rephrase that? Maybe, yes, I'm young. I'm not speaking for myself because I'm older, but yes, I'm young, but that doesn't mean that I can't start my business. Somebody else has started. I know what I'm doing. I want to do this. I'm passionate about it. I can do this. It might take a while, and I'm ready to accept that, but I'm also ready to move forward. I'm excited about it. You can rephrase almost anything to make it work for you in your mind. Okay, and then this is a good one too. Where in my life am I out of integrity? You know, and integrity is interesting because if you have integrity with yourself, meaning, you know, what you say to yourself that you're going to do, you do. You can do anything. I mean, because yourself trusts yourself and knows she means business or he means business. You know, you said that you're going to do it and you followed through. If you have that kind of integrity with yourself, it starts spilling out into all other areas of your life as well. With other people, they realize that, you know, when you say you're going to do something, you can be trusted to do it. That's so powerful. That really is so powerful when you can be in that space. So figuring out where maybe you're not quite in integrity with the way you want to be, with the way you want to show up, that is a huge win as well. Okay, and how would you like to show up differently in 2022? This is a new year, a new slate, a new whatever you want it to be. It's your year. And just because you were a certain way yesterday does not mean you have to go into 2022 or even go into tomorrow being that way. So, you know, I've heard recently that whatever you are creating right now is your future. Whatever you created last month is happening right now. So it's up to you how you want to show up. You are the creator of your future. You are the one who decides, no one else. And I think we have one more question. Yes, the last one. What is the most outrageous and exciting thing that I want in my life by the end of 2022? Now, outrageous and exciting means something totally different for everybody. Outrageous and exciting might mean you want to go travel Europe for 2 months, or you want to learn how to ride a motorcycle, or you want to learn how to scuba dive or paraglide or something like that. But the idea behind this question is to really reach down and think of something that you would love to do, but you're just like, oh my God, that's crazy. Because the point of being alive is to have fun. Have some fun. Make sure that you have fun this year. We all deserve to have a little bit of fun. And I would love to hear what everybody's outrageous and exciting thing is. So make sure to message me what you come up with. Okay, here we go. So it's so important to understand why we've been stuck. We got to understand our behaviors behind it. And in order to do that truly and completely, we have to be brutally honest with ourselves, because nothing is going to change if you're putting a band-aid on it and telling you fluffy stuff that, oh, whatever people are saying to do, positive thinking, whatever it is that you're covering your mistakes with. Address your mistakes, own them, move on, improve. And so some of the, sorry, my dog's coming over to say hello. All right, so some of the things that we might want to ask ourselves and think about as we're going into 2022. What are some of the behaviors that are common for me? And this could be negative and positive. Like what behaviors do you want to change? Is there something that if you have a tendency to think on the negative side about way things are going to work out for you? Why is that? Let's get down to what's underneath that. It's probably fear-based. It's probably, you're afraid of failing. But understanding those behaviors is the first step to being able to change them. Everybody's going to have different behaviors. Some of them we might have, the same ones that pop up, but typically we got to address them ourselves and be brutally honest. Also, how can I show up differently to create better opportunities for growth? Is this something like, do we need to, maybe you need to look at things a little bit differently. Maybe if you've got that negative, oh, things are never working out for me, why even bother? Maybe creating something different to change that narrative is going to be helpful. Why have I failed to achieve my goals before? Did you give up too soon? Did you expect instant results? Did you say you were going to do it and then you talked yourself out of it? That's a big one. We talk ourselves out of so much that we want to do. We listen to other people's opinions. So getting down to why that happened. What made you fail? Why did you choose to fail? And then what can I do to make sure this behavior changes? So you're the only one who's going to be able to do that. I'm the only one who can change my behavior truly from inside. And everybody else is in charge of their behavior as well. So that's a conscious decision to make sure that we've made those changes so that we can feel better and do better. Because if you feel better, you're naturally going to do better. And vice versa. When you do better, you start feeling better. So it's like this great snowball effect. One of the good kind, right? And then what skills must I master to grow in 2022 and beyond? So, growth is always ebbing and flowing, right? And ideally we want to be able to grow and blossom, right? So and learning is never static. If we stop learning, we stop growing. So maybe, if you're looking for a new job or you wanted a raise and you come to your boss and say, hey, I just got this certification, and you have a new skill, what are they going to say? They're probably not going to say no now, or you know what I mean? They're less likely. Plus you've shown initiative, plus you've grown. You're starting to, and once you start, accumulating skills like that, you accumulate more, and it's a natural evolution, and is wonderful for personal success and business success. Okay, let's get to the next slide here. Oh yeah, I love this part. Okay, so I think it's really helpful when we can choose a word that kind of encompasses the whole theme that we're going to have for our year. It's something that is meaningful for us, that inspires us in some way. And then all of your decisions and actions that you're going to make throughout the year are going to be based on this word. And I have a couple of them here. I've got freedom, purpose, abundance, consistency, balance. I personally used purpose last year for my word. So everything that I did, all the goals that I set, all the decisions that I made were aligned to my purpose. And I've had a great year. And I've used consistency. I think I used that last year. Keep showing up for myself. Keep showing up no matter what. Keep going, keep going. I'm growing, I'm learning. Everything was aligned to being consistent, and that helped tremendously. So I think it's really empowering and impactful if you can pick a word that just encompasses everything that you want, to be lined up for you in 2022. Okay, let's get started with the goal setting. Again, keep it simple. If you complicate things in any area of your life, it's going to be overwhelming. And chances are, if something's complicated, you're not going to do it because you're not going to remember. It's going to be work. It's going to be tedious. It's just going to not be something you're going to want to do. So keep it simple. Again, remember I said pick 2 or 3 areas of your life that you want to focus on. So, here's a couple that I talk about. Health. If you wanted to, improve upon a health issue you have, or if you wanted to, get in better shape, if you want to improve your relationship with your significant other, or if you wanted to find one, or improve your relationship with yourself, that's always a good one too. Business, if you want to start one, whatever area that you want to focus on, sky's the limit, but just please pick 2 or 3. And now, so what we end up doing is we look 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months out. So we set a goal. And again, this book has been a lifesaver. It's actually, I think it's called the Happy Planner. And I've used this for a couple years now. I've used a few others, but I find that this one in particular is just everything I need. So what I will do is go into my calendar, and let's say it's that 5K, just using it because I think anybody can relate to. It's 3 miles. You want to run 3 miles without stopping by the end of 2022, because there's a 5K race that you think would be a lot of fun, and you want to do that. Okay, so you put the date there, and so to keep it from being overwhelming, because you're not going to think about November or whenever this race is, you check in with yourself every 3 months, 6 months, how you're doing, and reverse engineer what actions you need to do to be where you want to be towards that goal at 3 months, and then again at 6 months. So you're going to be building, but it's not going to be overwhelming because you're stretching it out, and you're putting the action steps in periodically to make it manageable. And putting it on your calendar is a great way, because and I'll have to talk just briefly about how I use this so that it makes sense. I have my goals for the year, and then I take those, and every month I have monthly goals. So these are all working towards my goals that I had set that I wanted to accomplish within the year. And I have them listed out for the month. And so I have a kind of overview of where I want to be at the end of that month. And then every week I have, I want to say sub goals that support those monthly goals, little steps to get to that bigger goal that gets to the big goal. So it's really breaking it down to manageable size pieces. So, and then I can review it periodically because I'm in this thing every morning and most evenings. And just a tip, this really helps if you have insomnia, because you've written down at night before you go to bed what you're going to do tomorrow, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's already done, and you can look at it in the morning and be like, oh yeah, okay, I'll get to that, not a problem. But you're getting sleep over. You're not losing sleep over it because you've already made a note that you're going to do it. So you don't have to think about it when you're trying to sleep. Okay, so this helps you review your goals periodically because it's right in a calendar, and you're in it every day, and you're focused. And seemed like there was something else I wanted to say about that, because there's so much. I can really get into the weeds with the goal planning with that. Okay, setting goals. This is a nice little cheat sheet that's also in the handbook. That if you wanted to get that, just drop me a note. If setting goals, you've probably heard of the SMART framework. It's fantastic. It really breaks it down to make sure that you are setting realistic goals for yourself. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So breaking down goals into smaller chunks to make them manageable. Again, advocating pen to paper, writing them out. There's something about that pen on paper connection that actually you remember. It makes it real, and it makes it, you tend to be a lot more proactive that way. So, and making an action plan helps you achieve the goal. Setting a goal is one thing, you can do that, but making sure that you have the steps lined up to achieve that goal is golden. All right, so here are some of the questions that you're going to want to ask yourself. The specific one, okay, I can go back to the 5K race because that's an easy example. Here, oops, sorry, moving that out of the way. Why do I want to achieve this goal? This is your why. Because I want to feel good. I want to say I did it. I want to hang that medal around my neck. I want to be able to post pictures on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. What are the requirements? And are there any constraints that are going to be blocking me from this goal? If you can answer those questions and be specific about the goal, that's a great start. Measurable. How am I going to measure my progress? Well, for that particular goal, you might want to use a calendar, like, set out your running times. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to run half a mile or whatever it is. And then, measurable also, at what point am I going to know that the goal has been achieved? That might be that you run the 5K and you get that medal. Or it could be that you realize at some point that you've run 5 miles and it's before the 5K and you're like, yes, I did it. Achievable. How can the goal be reached? What are the steps that I should take to achieve this goal? Is this goal achievable, or do I need it to adapt to this or the circumstances? So if you've broken your foot, it might not be achievable at that point in time. You might want to put it off until you're healed. Achievable, like, what kind of steps can I take to achieve this goal? And this is where you can start breaking it down. Like, well, I can get a pair of running shoes. I can run a quarter of a mile at a slow jog, and then, walk the rest and jog the rest, and, work with it, whatever works for you with your particular goal. Relevancy. Is it a worthwhile goal? If you, if it's not the right time, or if you're just kind of like, um, I'm not really feeling it, don't even bother. Don't set a goal that you're not willing to go the extra mile to achieve, because it's gonna, what it's gonna do is two things. You're going to fail, you're going to give up, and it's gonna start that tape again in your mind, like you can't do it. Why did you even think you could do it? You're a failure. You'll never be able to do any of this stuff. Like whatever you tend to tell yourself when you fail, which is sometimes really horrible things. So don't set a goal that is not relevant for you. And then time bound. How long is this going to take me to accomplish? When is the completion of the goal? When am I going to work on this goal? Mornings, if you're going to go out and run after work instead of sitting on the couch, whatever, be specific. The completion of the goal, is it what we said about the day of the 5K, or is it sooner than that? And how long is it going to be? Well, that's answered the question. How long is it going to take me to accomplish the goal? But anyway, that was just an example of how to use this tool. This is really, really helpful both in personal life and business life. Like if you have a annual, what do they call it? Annual review where you have to set goals. This is a great framework to use to get those really tight. Okay. All right. So here's how we lay out the goal. And I took this slide from literally what I have written down in my book for the goals that I had set at the beginning or the end of last year for 2021. So, your goals could be losing weight, redoing your morning routine, making it more productive, making it calmer, whatever, getting a promotion, getting a new job, starting a new business, have more time for fun, friends, family, work on the work-life balance. But so I had the goal, and then I have these questions: the what, why, when, and how. And I answered these for each goal that I set. And this was very helpful because you're talking about the why. Why do I want this goal? Again, the why is going to get you through those times where you're just not feeling motivated anymore. Why did I want it in the first place? Revisit that, because you've already written out, if you lay out your goals like I'm suggesting, you've already written out on paper why you want the goal. So you can always look back, 3 months from now, and you're like, oh, what was I thinking again? That's why. And then you're right back there again, feeling like, yes, I do want this. Ask yourself how committed I am to achieve this goal. If it's not a 10, don't do it. Like I said, it's not going to be helpful in any way to put down a goal that you are not 100% in towards achieving. What 3 to 5 actions do I need to do to achieve this goal? So, for example, if we go back, if you have less than 3, it's like you're kind of floundering. It's not really I don't believe it's gonna give you much traction. If you have more than 5, maybe you're doing a little extra. Maybe you're complicating it. Again, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate these. So going back to the 5K, maybe the first action is to get a pair of running shoes. And maybe the second action is to find a group of runners that are close by so that you can get some tips and training with them. Or maybe it's hiring a one-on-one running coach that's going to help, push you and work with you for your unique needs. So what are these actions that are going to help me achieve this goal? And what does success look like? Again, when you get that goal accomplished, what is that going to look like for you? Are you going to be happy? Are you going to be ecstatic? Are you going to be like, whoa? And how are you going to check in with yourself? Or if you've hired someone else to help you check in, maybe that's what is going to help hold you accountable. Okay. And this is very important. Be kind to yourself, because we're human. We are not 100% on 100% of the time. There's no way we can be. So be kind to yourself. I'm a big advocate of being kind and watching the way we talk to ourselves and the things that we say to ourselves. So if you find that you've slipped a little bit, what would you say to your friend? What would you say to your best friend or your sister or your child? And say those kinds of things to yourself. And one thing that was really helpful for me is writing a letter to myself when I'm finished setting all my goals and I was feeling like, woo, I like this, I'm feeling good. I wrote a letter to myself that I would read on December 31st. So I have 2 weeks until that date, and it is in here and I haven't looked at it since I wrote it. And I'm really excited to read it because I was pretty excited about my goals. And I know that, I've done a lot more than whatever my goals were that I had set. So I'm very excited to see what I was writing to myself and how excited I was to tell myself in 2 weeks, all the great things that have happened and how wonderful I feel and all of that. So I highly encourage you to do that. And also there's something that I've been doing for several years now, and it's a memory jar. And I do this with my kids, and you can see it's really packed full. And the year is almost over, but it was pretty packed pretty much all year. We've had a lot of good things in here. So what happens is they're all little pieces of paper, and when something good happens in our life, or something we want, something we've achieved, something we're feeling good and successful about, we write it on a piece of paper, fold it up, and put it in the jar. And then on New Year's Day or thereabout, we sit down together and dump it all out. And it's a lot more than it looks like in here. And we spend a couple hours going through and reminding ourselves of all the good things. We start reading them, and a lot of times we're like, oh my gosh, that happened? I totally forgot. And what a good feeling, because life happens pretty fast. And I mean, can you remember what you did yesterday exactly? And all the good things that happened yesterday? If you didn't write it down, and I highly encourage you to do that, daily, weekly. If you know me and you follow me on Facebook, you know that every Friday I'm asking you, what great thing or what are the wins that you had this week? What good things happened? What good things did you make happen? And to remind people to keep an eye out for those and remember them. And this is a great way to do it. And it makes you feel good. You're sharing it with the people that also have these great memories together. So I highly recommend doing that as well. There's so many good things we do that we just forget about and don't give ourselves credit for. And we're going to change that. Okay. Oh, all right. So that was it. So if you need help with this in any way, again, if you need the handout, please reach out and let me know, or the handbook, the workbook, because we covered a lot. And I think that, having that in front of you as you're writing down your goals is going to be very, very helpful. And if you need a little extra help, a little extra clarity, please feel free to reach out to me. I love this stuff. Again, it's like I live for helping others improve. Happy to help out where I can. If you need accountability, I'm a good accountability partner. And then any other kind of coaching that you might need as well, I'm there for that. And if you mention that you were in this workshop or that you saw the replay, just let me know, and you get 20% off coaching sessions. And there's my email, Kim@thewellnessmindsetcoach.com. I'm on Facebook. You can message me there as well. And one last thing before I let you all go, I will be putting together and probably communicating this much more broadly. I've been putting together a coaching program called Living Well. It's all about the journey, and I'm really excited about this. This is all mind, body, spirit work. So what I've done with the nonprofit that I run is I've had live workshops, in-person workshops to the local community in Washington, D.C. And the workshops all had a different theme. Maybe it was about mindset, maybe it was about herbal remedies and the natural holistic approach to taking back our health. And teaching people how to use herbal medicine that I make using, I have my own botanical line, From the Ground Up Botanicals, in the trademark process currently. So empowering others, learning how to use these natural goods that we have from the earth, how to use our minds, how to rethink things, how to approach things from a different perspective and benefit ourselves, and learning how to reconnect to us on the soul level, as well as the connection to our, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, connecting to the divine in that way. So it's a very unique program. I've taken a lot of the stuff that I've done in person for the workshops and created an online approach to it, which is wonderful because it reaches so many more people. And like I said, I live I live for this stuff, can talk about it 24/7. I do it personally and am such an advocate for this kind of wellness lifestyle. So I will be talking much more about this in the next coming months. And if you have any questions about it or just like to chit chat, you know where you can reach me. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will send this link out right away so that you guys can start on your 2022 goal setting. All right, stay tuned for more, and we will see each other soon. Take care. Bye.